You know, it would help if I set it to the right game. It's still looking for Skyrim. What's happening, guys and girls? Acronator here, and welcome to pretty chill stream. For the most part, I don't have my headphones on, so I can't hear anything in game. But I don't really need to for a while. Just like the title suggests, I'm gonna be doing stuff for dungeon overview. This is an extremely impromptu stream. I was just like, fuck it. I don't know how long this will go on for, but I guess just to show you I'm still alive. So I guess you can see some of the behind the scenes stuff of like how I look for shots and whatnot. I don't know how far I'll get. This is going to be a little bit different than what I used to do for dungeon overview, because I have a well, I don't know if it's going to be quite as drastic of a change as oh god, fuck, shut up Discord. Okay. Yeah. What was I saying, right? So I definitely have some format changes for Dungeon Overview. It's going to be more focused on the lore stuff. But that's not to say that I'm going to ignore the boss mechanics. So I still feel like that's important to the series, because I don't just enjoy the lore, I also enjoy very much going through the dungeons, but the way I'm going to present it is more like a lore-based thing. So instead of like, basically what I want to do is a complete, instead of doing like a complete 180, going from like pure lore stuff to like more how-to kind of stuff. It's gonna try and fit in the script for the fight mechanics is going to be in the same style as the lore. So the background is just going to be a continuation of what I already said. There's going to be a much smoother transition. It's going to be less of a volatile transition of the like, oh, here's all this lore stuff and like this kind of footage, or like you can't see anything but it looks pretty and it's scenic and stuff. And instead it'll just be this perpetually. And I'll do like the how to describe it. I haven't written the script yet, so that's the tough part of describing this, but I know what I want to do. I just need to like get it down. But I can write the script afterwards, because what I can do is just get a whole ton of shots here and then worry about the scripts and whatnot. As long as I get a surplus of footage, I can cut it down. The problem would be if I don't get enough footage to fit the time for whatever. Then I have to go back to these dungeons. But anyways, I'm gonna go to... Let me just double check. I have a list of like all the dungeons in order up to, I believe, Legion. Although it might exclude some of the newer Legion ones, I'm not entirely sure. Cathedral of Eternal Night, I think that was the last one. Was there a new one added? Oh, there was. It was like the Seat of the Triumvirate or something, whatever. Well, Wiki for some reason stopped updating after Legion 7.2. But once I hit Battle for Azeroth, I figure I can just do the 2 special dungeons later. From like the original batch, mind you. And then focus on... Oh god, why did you ping me again? I don't care about Discord stuff right now. It's not about the league. It's not about the Pug League. So yeah, the first dungeon in Mists, I'm pretty sure it was... Yeah, so technically in Mists, which is the next season for Dungeon Overview, there is 3 dungeons that I covered in the classic version of Dungeon Overview, which is Scarlet Hall, Scarlet Monastery, and Scholomance. Because I already did those, I'm not going to do them again because I covered the Mists heroic versions. So there's really only 6 dungeons, which means I could potentially do them all today. And if I still want to keep going, I might do some of the... I might just do some questing. But let's see. Storm Stout... I'm just going to take a picture on my phone of the list so I can look at that instead of having to alt-tab. That being said, WoW is very conducive to alt-tabbing. For some reason, pure full screen is disabled nowadays. But anyways, Storm Stout Brewery. So, what I plan on doing, and what I usually like to do with like the dungeon lore, which is what I'm going to start with, is I like getting shots of the surrounding area, but the interesting thing with some of the dungeons in Mists is that, like Storm Stout Brewery, like Shadowpan Monastery, they have basically the entire zone to themselves. I think the Vale of Eternal Blossoms is the same with Mogushan Palace. Palace. Is the the Jade Forest does have... Okay. So there's almost 1 dungeon per area. You got Nui Zhao Temple. Oh yeah, I guess the Gate of the Setting Sun is technically there, I think. I don't know which zone it's officially in. And does Dread Wastes have any? I don't know. Maybe. Gate of the Setting Sun. Oh yeah, the Gate of the Setting Sun is, the entrance is like on the Serpent Spine, so I don't know which zone that would count. But because I have basically the entire zone to myself, and because the dungeon lore segment in particular is probably going to be quite lengthy, especially because a lot of these bosses, like Stormstar Brewery, I'm not going to be writing the script here. I had considered doing that before. Not, like years ago this was. I had considered doing like a full stream of just making a dungeon overview, including like recording and stuff, but then I was like, well, I fuck up a lot when I'm recording, and you don't see it because I'm good at editing it out and stuff, but you would see it and you'd have to live through all my fuck ups. I'd probably be more self-conscious about it and fuck up even more if I did recording on stream. So what I don't mind doing is getting the footage. That is not the right dungeon. Yeah, so like these time walking, ironically enough, I think was added around either Mists. I think it was added either during Warlords or Siege of Orgrimmar. And like that was right around the time the series started. So ironically, this series has a lot of relevancy for people who like time walking, because it's like, oh, how the fuck do I do this dungeon? I started, in Cataclysm or whatever. Yeah, especially like these first 2 bosses. This one, I feel like there's a little bit to do in terms of stuff that I could say, because it's not just the boss, but also Uncle Gao. And there's a little bit of questing lore to that as well. But, like these 2, I just have nothing to say. So whenever I have, like, the majority, or at least a couple bosses that have absolutely nothing to say about them, I try to go more in depth with the dungeon lore. So, what I'm getting at here is, because I have the entire Valley of the Four Winds, which is one of my favorite zones of all time, that and the Jade Forest, so I'm going to have a ball with the Temple of the Jade Serpent as well. I can look for basically the most beautiful spots, get a whole bunch of footage, and I'm going to need a lot of it. Like, oh god, my guess would be somewhere in the realm of 5 minutes worth of footage. I don't know if I'm going to be talking about the dungeon lore for that long in the actual episode, but that is about where I'll feel comfortable. Maybe a little bit more, because there are quite a few areas in this zone. Because you got Half Hill, you have I don't know what the hell that's called, but you have this waterfall. You have this area right here. There's also another one like it over past that mountain, but I think this one has more flowers and stuff in it. So I'll probably try and do that. Although this is connected to here, so maybe I'll make that into one dot. I could possibly do something. Does Krasserring... I don't think Krasserring has any dungeons. I think that was meant to be a dungeon, or like part of a raid or something. I know it has a big quest point or shoot, 5.1 landfall, I think. Been a while. But I think I could probably, because there's no dungeon in Grass Ring, I could probably get a good shot of the cliff that leads into Grass Ring, because I always felt like that's a really good shot. It's so weird, like I don't really consider myself a very good cinematographer, especially when it comes to like real life footage, but when it comes to getting game footage, especially scenic game footage, for some reason I'm really good at it. At least I think I'm good at it, and I'm usually not impressed by my own stuff, but I'm usually pretty happy with the scenic shots I get, and I can also get like the fields here. I'm just trying to think of like what I would want to get first. Let me open up my folders just so it'll be easier to label all this, because I'm definitely going to need to label it as time goes on, because I'm definitely not just doing this one dungeon. It's just kind of explaining my process, and then I'll sort of get into it and probably go a lot more quiet. This isn't really meant to be like a purely entertainment stream. It's just sort of like, I'm gonna do this anyways, and this is a really good way to force me to do it now, because otherwise I just procrastinate and play Overwatch. Which is nice and all, but I would very much like to get Dungeon Overview out. I think I originally said I wanted to get it out by like early March, maybe early April by like the latest. So I'd like to get it out soon. Is there anywhere over here that's worth getting footage of? Maybe got like the entrance to this 1,000 steps or whatever. I don't know how open that is. I'm gonna attempt to make more diversity with, like, usually I'll just either do like all moving and panning shots or just like flying and panning. Obviously slower than that, but I'll probably try and make it a little bit more diverse. None of this has to be in particular order. So let's see. So what are the areas that didn't there used to be a drawing tool on the map like recently? Or was that like in the newer areas maybe? Or maybe I'm thinking of another game in particular, I don't know. Because it would be really useful if I could just draw on like the areas that I think I want to go to. I'm definitely getting one of the brewery, like the outside of the brewery, probably getting at least 2 shots of that. One like area wide, probably getting like from over here. Definitely one of like the up front where the actual dungeon entrance is. Definitely getting the granary just because that's really nice looking. Definitely getting one of Half Hill. Definitely there. I'd like to get one of there. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 45 seconds a pop. I can do up to 1.5 minutes, but sometimes I feel like I drag out a shot too long if I let it sit for 1.5 minutes. I usually only do that if I have like, if the dungeon is really small and I need more footage to fill. 45 seconds times, what did I say? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times 6. At least that'd be 4.5 minutes. I could do one more shot. And actually, now that I'm looking at it, this I think would be a really nice shot. There are some cool things over here as well, but I think those 6 are the best. 7 rather. Those 7, because that. Yeah. So I'll just kind of work my way over. And when I'm done with that, I'll get at least a little bit of footage of me running from Half Hill to the brewery, just because I still very much enjoy those shots, because that was one of the biggest things I used to look up back in the day, was like how to, damn it, stop pinging me, was how to get to a dungeon entrance. So that's something that's still very important to me. Let me get this. Let me just check the damn Discord. Oh, okay. just a mass ping. Yeah, so I think I can't really describe my process of this very well, just because I'm gonna go by my gut, not much else. The controls I use for this, if you're curious, I can say, but if no one speaks up, I'm not gonna bother. There. And about there. Maybe get a little bit of the village right by it. Alright, let me... It's been a while since I've gotten footage. I usually keep a timer on me so I can get a few seconds. What I'm going for is about 45 seconds of shot because I have it set to just go 45 seconds from one point to the next, so this will take 45 seconds, but if I tap the button twice to make it move, it'll just go instantaneously, which is really nice. So, here. That. Time it for 45 seconds and just let it run. The nice thing is that because I'm not going to be using the audio or anything, generally when I'm doing this, I used to do it just while talking to John or whatnot. And it won't affect anything. I don't use the game audio. Because way back in the day I used to actually use the game audio. That was a nightmare trying to keep everything quiet while getting footage. And I'll let this go for about 47 to 48 seconds in total, just a few extra seconds so that when I get that 45-second cutoff when I'm editing, I can do it really smoothly. Granted, I'm probably not going to use all 45 seconds of each thing because I doubt the lore section is going to be long enough to sustain that. And 47 seconds, good enough. Let's see. I'll organize that later. I want to get all the lore shots of the dungeon lore itself, and then I'll sort of take a look at them, take a step back, and... Oh, that's funny, that was the map. Okay. Let's see, I need a good angle of Half Hill. Yeah. But, basically when I get all the footage all done, I can sort of think back on what I got for each one and think about, like, okay, which one do I want? In what order? Or I can even just wait until the script is written. What I can do is just label that now. How should I even label this? Important question. Do any of the dungeons overlap on acronym? That'd be SB, EJS, MSP. No, okay. So they don't overlap. So I can very easily just write. And just do it in terms of the order that I recorded them in. So, yeah, I don't really want to get Sun Song Ranch. Just because that one area definitely feels out of place. It's a lot neater and like a little bit more open. It's more akin to like the fields than it is the rest of Half Hill, which feels like it's on top of the hill. I guess lore-wise makes sense since that's supposed to be like the most coveted plot of land for the area. I feel like this, if I can get a good angle around the tree. I don't know about this. But if the tree wasn't there, I'd love to get a shot of like that and then slowly pan over and like end somewhere around here. But I like getting a higher angle, but yeah, it can work. I just noticed that part. Oh god. Flight Master is right there. This might... Okay. Let's not do that. I don't want to quite get the market either. Maybe over here? I feel like this angle of Half Hill's barely ever explored. Not terrible looking. It is a little bit bland though. I feel like this area right here is the most scenic part of it. Maybe something from the ground. Possibly even like up here. It feels too open if it looks out on there. I feel like from right here, but unfortunately the Flight Master's thing is right there. I could attempt this, and Flight Master would be a bit out of the way. Yeah, that's good. Okay. You know, I just realized I gotta check what resolution this is recording at, because it's supposed to be 1080, but I might have occasionally I'll swap it to 720 if I need to do something that doesn't really require 1080. I'll check it in a minute. If it is set to 720, that'll be the big issue. I've done literally two very easily recreatable shots. Pain in the ass is like, oh, you just got gameplay footage, like actual non-scenic gameplay footage that that is now 720. It's like, well, fuck. Okay. Nope, it's on 1080. Okay. Good. That feels good. And I'm like, oh shit, and then turns out okay. Okay. 2 dungeon lores down. Get the granary. Get the Heartland. Hop over to the brewery, hop up there. Run back to Half Hill. Let's see. See, this one I don't really mind being more open shot because it kind of lets you see a little bit more of like the chaos that the brewery is involved in. Fortunately, a lot of the dungeon lore shots here, aside from like maybe the Heartland, I can get away with a moving scenic. But I feel like most of these need to be stationary because the area that I'm covering is so small. I'd fly past this in like 5 seconds flat. Need this to last for like 45. I'm thinking one of two things. I could either start up here and work my way down, or work my way down and go up. But I feel like there's nothing really that crazy up here. So I feel like starting up here and working down is the better option. And I'll go from here. Go to diagonal just because that mountain fills the shot a little bit more. Okay. Let's see. So this is really the one dungeon lore shot that I think I can get away with moving as opposed to stationary. Not added yet, or is that coming next week? I don't even know. I doubt I'll have real time to do that tonight. Damn, been going for like half an hour already? I'm usually attempting. I'm usually like more tired in certain increments because I'm more focused on like interacting and stuff. But this, I'm just kind of like thinking out loud, and I don't have my headphones on, so I'm speaking a lot softer because I don't know, reflex of not being able to hear myself as well, so I talk louder. Let's see. I'm gonna make sure I'm about flying level. Probably. I don't know. That shot of half hill. I feel like this doesn't have to move that much. It can end like here-ish. Mind you, it'll be moving, so it'll be looking more like that, is my thought. Okay, now here's the fun part. Because there's like 4 button presses with those. I'm moving down in elevation, aren't I? I have to redo it. Now I'm running into the mountain. See, to cancel it, there's like 5 button presses. I like the shot though. I like the concept of that shot. I just need to get the angle quite right. Especially the vertical angle. I'm not a huge fan of like when I slowly go upwards, but I guess it's better than slowly going downwards. So. I think vertically speaking, that'll slowly move us upwards. Okay. Most of that is conserved. Take 2. Okay, yeah, this one looks much better. And the shot looks really good. Am I gonna make it above the mountain? Maybe not. Oh no, okay, we made it. I really like this shot. Oh wow. I was worried that mountain would fuck it up. That actually worked really well, holy crap. Like this is going well past where I intended it to go. But I can also cut it off a little bit early, like as it gets to that area right there. But like I don't mind it going a little bit past. I really like that shot. Like I had a hunch that would look good, but that was a hell of a lot better than I was thinking. Okay, so what the hell? Yeah. So I'll take a shot here, probably on the ground, is my guess. This might even be like the opening shot. And then I'll grab the 2 shots here. Actually, what I might do is run back to Half Hill, get the footage of me running there, just to show the entrance. And then once I get there, it'll be all set. Now I like the ground moving shots better because what I can do is set my character to walk, which is considerably better. Now with this, I kind of want to be taller. Very tall. Better, but I think, yeah, let's try this. Much better. I think that's about the tallest mount I can come up with. I definitely don't have the Brutosaur. I'm not spending like 30 million, what is it, like 2 million gold? Or is that the spider mount? I don't remember. Some ludicrous amount. I I don't think that'd be as tall as the mammoth. That's definitely not as tall as the mammoth. Now that's low to the ground. I wish you had an option to fly slowly, because that would make my life so much easier. A lot of these scenic flying shots would be so much easier to get, instead of like purposefully keeping a specific character at like slow flying or because of that purpose, because slow flying actually has a pretty good speed. I think in some of my earlier videos, possibly with this character even, I had slow flying and you could tell. But thankfully, mount walking speed. So with this, I want to avoid looking up because it sort of takes away from the mysticism of this whole area. So wait, where am I? Okay. Yeah, I want to be walking relatively straight down the path. Okay. Okay. That should be good. I get the feeling this will be a really nice shot to open up with. I'm just hoping I don't run into those trees right ahead of us. And by the time... Oh no, I am kind of veering off. I don't mind going next to him, I just don't want to hit him. That's always a pain in the ass. Yeah, I think miss him. I really like this shot. Granted, I really love this area in general. I remember it being darker, but maybe that's just because I did it first when I was on a really crappy laptop. Okay. That actually was perfect in terms of distance. Okay. Let me just label that. You know, I just realized I never posted anything on Instagram. I have no fucking clue what to post. Oh. Uh, okay. You know what, fuck it, I don't care. Too much effort to make something. Like, usually I'll make something specifically for Instagram beforehand. This was so spontaneous that it's like, I can't bring myself there. I wish I could zoom out further. For a little while there was a macro that actually let you zoom out further, and that stopped working too. Yeah, I definitely want to get a shot on the ground of just like the front, and probably something over there getting like the backside, because that's where a lot of the boss fight areas are, I believe. Well, that's one. One's inside, one's like right up there. Yeah. I also really enjoy that Mists, I think, is the start of like where a lot of the dungeons became to scale inside and outside of the dungeon, which is just really cool to me. I mean, that's basically standard practice for them now, but it's really nice to see. Let's see. Really just need the shot of this to itself. The funny part is that like this, at this point in the game, most people have flying. Although I guess technically, mists. I don't know when you can buy flying for mists anymore. I know it used to be 90. I don't know if that has changed. If you can get it earlier. Should be right over here. Yep. I'm gonna say. It should be over here, otherwise I need to redo it. Nice part about not having quested here is that I don't need to worry about the stupid fucking monkey that runs up and down. Not that I'd worry about dying to it nowadays, but it would ruin a lot of my shots. Let's see. Get the far shot first. Huh. Never noticed this. Never really explored. There's like different things. Symbols. 3 of them. 4? 4 or 5 different symbols. I think 4. Must mean something in Chinese. Anyways, this be scenic enough. You want to keep the lighting standard for the zone? That tree out of the way. Yeah, that looks about good. Okay. I was worried the backside might not be that interesting to look at. Sometimes that is the case. This time it seems to have worked in my favor. I'm gonna have to figure out what to do with the background music for these videos as well, because they're likely going to be longer than the dungeon music. Usually. Anyways, I think the dungeon music usually spans for about 7 to 5 minutes. But I would much prefer to have them probably... I'll usually cut out a lot of the blank areas, and sometimes I'll usually cut off like more boring area for that music. So maybe what I could do is, because there's only like 1 zone per, I could also take the zone music and kind of make it a little bit of both. Maybe save the dungeon music for like the bosses and the zone music for the areas. Of course that won't be as feasible with certain areas in like I think Warlords of Draenor has 2 dungeons in one place. You got the Iron Docks, you got the Grimmer Depot, the Everbloom, yeah, so. Okay. That'll be an interesting expansion to go through. Definitely want to get to that by the end of the year. If I can. It'll feel really good. And then like Legion will be a relatively large project at that point. Okay. Trying to think of how I want to approach this. I don't really want to go on here because then you can't see the dungeon itself. You can see parts of it, but it's not quite what I want. Might even have to go like back here. This is gonna be rough. I don't need the full thing, I just want a decent look at. A lot of these buildings are kind of screwing me over. Those barrels are screwing me over there. Actually, let me think. Did I spell it wrong? What? Huh. It'll be my I need to get taller mount. I think. That's quite as tall as the others. Yeah, I feel like this is okay, so this is the I need to get taller mount. Speak up. I don't know what that was, but okay. I've seen that glitch happen a little bit recently. Let's see. Yeah, that could work. Okay. I don't want to go like on this path because then you look up here and it's like right there. You know, you can't really see anything. I need to find a good trajectory. That's gonna be a little bit rough. What I could do is start here and then as I walk down the road, look up towards there. Maybe. I think that's my best bet. Yeah, I think it's my safest bet. And like keep it looking up, I guess. See how that works. I feel like I might have to do a few reshots of this particular footage. It definitely has a good view of some of the brewery. Kind of worried about where it ends up. So far it's not terrible. So far I like it. The water tower up there I think saves that backdrop, which is one of the things I was worried about. Okay. Yeah, I think that's a reasonable shot. Okay. Now, let me just label that. I feel like that's a reasonable amount of footage. Like 5.5 minutes, just about. 5.25. Oh, God. Okay. And then for the bosses themselves, I'm going to need probably about, oh God, 2 minutes maybe? Maybe for this one, 3 to 4 minutes, but I feel like that'll be easy to get. Of any particular hallways or rooms in the dungeon itself. The first couple bosses, I feel like there's really not that much about. This one is literally just a fucking pest. This one is just a monkey that likes to party. This one actually has a little bit of backstory, especially with the quote friendly character that is causing that fight. So I could definitely talk more about the last boss in terms of lore, which means I need more scenic footage. I also need to sit through the fights and get all the important whatchamacallit mechanics. Actually, I'd also like to get some footage of the bosses standing there. Like, one thing I'd like to do is get a few rooms for the scenic shots with like actual NPCs in them. Normally I'd just do like vacant dungeons after I've killed everything, but I feel like some life thrown into these scenic shots might actually help with the new format that I'm going for. Otherwise it'll just feel like an overabundance of rooms and architecture and not necessarily life. Whereas I don't have that contrast of like the pure gameplay versus the pure scenic shots anymore. I'll have to figure out what I want to do for the intro as well.
Hello there. It's good of you to visit all the anti-storm stouts.
I am not Zan. I am Chen Stormstout.
Oh, Zan, you remind me so much of your father.
Tell me, what has happened to you?
It is certainly a nice day outside.
Where are the other Stormstouts? Why are hosen all over the brewery?
Oh, have you seen the size of Esme's turnips?
Anti-Stormstout. Why is the brewery abandoned?
Abandoned? Oh, heavens no. Uncle Gao is in charge, while the others are beyond the wall. Isn't that exciting?
While the others are beyond the wall.
And where is Uncle Gao?
I have some cookies for you.
No wonder.
No time.
Ow.
Well, just one.
Because I'm a little bit curious. There is some brewmasters over here. Wonder if that's them, or perhaps they've like just long since died to the elements, I suppose.
Heyo.
Anyways,
Wait,
let's see.
these are ghost cookies. These aren't filling at all.
Patience, patience. Keep the peace.
I feel like I can't really get a good scenic shot of this. Mostly because those two. Although maybe? Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I think it's worth a shot. Sort of bring it down a little bit. Try to avoid keeping the same elevation. And these I'll try and stick to just 45 seconds as well. Especially because these are such small rooms. Yeah, I think that looks alright. I guess I'm so used to trying to avoid any living things when I do these scenic shots. I guess in a way I'll have to get used to it because once I hit the current dungeons, I'm just gonna go through Dungeon Finder and then run around, get footage that way. Uh, what's his name? Let's see. Probably want this boss. Probably 3 of those shots. I think it's either this room or another room that might actually be after the next boss. After the first boss, rather. That I definitely want to get a scenic shot of. I think it's this room. I definitely need these guys out of the way, though. Trying to think of a way to keep them in, but it's like I kind of need to be right where they're standing. Well, I just need those to despawn, which shouldn't take too long, hopefully. I don't have to take a scenic shot looking up further, which is possible, but I'd rather not. They might not despawn, will they? I can do. Oh. Let's see. I'd like to actually get it. Oh, I moved. Yeah, okay. I feel like that might be too close to what I already took a shot of. You can already see those guys. This, on the other, actually rather similar to what I just got, but also different enough where it might be to be able to see where I'm going. This might be a shot. Hold on. I and on. Oh, what I wanted. Start there, and then get a good shot of that. I'm liking this. And I am more or less figuring this out as I go along. just like kind of experimenting, and then after this dungeon, it'll be a lot faster. Probably. I guess some dungeons won't be. Like Shadowpan Monastery, I have no idea how I'm gonna take. Very. I don't know how I'm gonna go through that dungeon fast because it's such a beautiful dungeon. It's gonna be hard to figure out what I want. Yeah, the aesthetic of this entire expansion pack is just so good. I think what I'm gonna end up doing is making a little like hype trailer with like just stock music from Mists, like the basic soundtrack, nothing really dungeon oriented unless there's a dungeon track that works really well, what I'm trying to do. And then take a lot of these scenic shots and just edit something together for YouTube as like a teaser, like the week before this season will come out. I've never done that before for something on my actual YouTube. I've done it a few times now for the Pug League I'm in Overwatch. And I have very rapidly discovered the power of hype. Okay, I do need to kill these guys for boss. Are they dead? They are dead. Huh. I don't remember that killing them, but then again it might scale the damage those do with my damage. So, can't really complain, I guess. Screw it. Okay, now this... Any of these aggro for me? I'm pretty sure that... Oh, those guys aren't. Ooh. Ooh. Okay. Okay. Oh, but I gotta watch for the barrels. Okay. Me. Yep. I gotta watch for the barrels. That'll fuck up a... or two. But as long as those behave, this might be a really good shot. Just like... Need to back up more. Over here, actually. I was thinking that'd be too far away, but it might actually be perfect. Like... Go all this craziness, and then boom, he's right there. Don't you dare. Okay. I'm okay with that. I'm just not... And I actually do want him highlighted like that because then you can see his name very clearly. Get him nice and centered. A little bit down. Leave these hanging, posing towards the top of the frame because I don't need to stare at the ceiling. I like this shot a real lot. You know, I'm just kind of now realizing that I'm probably gonna need more than just 2 minutes. Because I'm needing background footage for the entire boss. So... Okay. Let's see, that'd give me a minute and a half, 2 minutes 15, so if I get one more piece of footage after this, I'll be satisfied with the amount I've got. Because it'll be 3 minutes exactly. I'm pretty confident I can cover boss with zero backstory and relatively simple mechanics in that amount of time. So, at the very least I know I want this shot. I was just thinking elsewhere. You know, I very rarely get actual motion in my shots. In terms of like NPCs and stuff. So this is like breaking a record for me for like the most stuff going on in a single dungeon overview shot. I also seem to be in the sweet spot of where the barrels can't hit me, which is very much appreciated by the game. Cool. I think that's going to be a really nice shot. I'm trying to think of what else I could get, because I feel like I can't get that one room. Hold on, let me label this shot that I just got. Let's see. What could I get? Do I go up there? I don't know if I go up there. Forget. I think I do. Or... maybe? I don't know. I legitimately can't tell. I want to figure this out before I actually start the fight, because I'm going to have to do a whole lot. I want to look at the mechanics first. It's really appreciated. Hey. Actually, that might be a good shot. Of just like storage. Like empty storage. Okay. Yeah, I think once we clear that out and I can actually go over there, I'll be more confident with that. So let me take a minute to look at mechanics. Just so I know what I'm looking for. Ground pound. Really. Like those, that I probably wouldn't even talk about that in the first place, other than like, don't stand in the cone. But like nowadays, I'm probably not even gonna say anything about that, because it's like, how do I even talk about that? Maybe I could? I don't know. I get the feeling that it is basic attack anyways. The real things, yeah, so basically just three things. Ground pound. That I want to be careful with. I'm going to go for that last. I end up killing him in the process, so trying to get footage of that. Not worried about it. But basically that I'll wait for. Then I'll do the barrels. And I'll try for that. Simple enough. Okay. Of course I do need to record, well. Just you. Fuck you in particular. Normally I'd be looking to get a shot of the boss like this, but I think given the context that I just got a really nice shot of him up there, I don't need to in this case. Okay, so I'm looking for his one big ability, the ground pound. I don't know if that's like an actual thing that he does. Oh, there it is. Okay. Oh, so it's not even a cone, it's more of a line. Wanted that. Barrel. Here's one. Okay. So the damage ramps up, as it turns out. So the damage is linear to what I do normally. Oh Christ. Whatever. I'll get this one last shot. This might even be like the opening shot for this. At the very least, so that tells me that I would never have been able to get his going bananas thing. What I can do is get the two things that I did do. Even if he dies in the footage, that's fine. Doesn't matter. Ignore that part. It'll be on screen for such a short time, and that's not the point of it. It's to show the actual mechanic, which I did actually show. And I think you could figure out in Enrage relatively simply. Yeah. That's it for that boss. Start looking for lore for the next boss. I think the standard will have to be for like a boss that I don't really think I can get very much lore for. It'll be 4 shots and more depending on how many minutes I think I can go on. Okay. I might even call the stream after this dungeon because I'm tired, not because. What to even do with this? Where do they walk to? Okay. Okay. I was gonna say, because this looks like a decent lore thing. Okay. Yeah, I think this will do nicely. Goes off the vermin itself. Quite a large amount of them too, so it'll bring into perspective whatever lore bit I'm trying to say about the infestation. I don't know what they're doing jumping off the edge, but okay. I'll go for 4 lore bits here as well. There. Oh, screw it. Oh, you can get up here. Okay. Yeah, I wasn't sure if this is where this led or if it was somewhere else. Oh. That answers that. Okay, he is coming. I wasn't sure. You... Where do they come Okay, so they kind of do. Oh, perfect. That is exactly what I wanted. That is exactly the vantage point I wanted. A little bit of the dancing monkeys. Get a good shot of the infestation. Okay. That was a shot that I was trying to get before, as you were probably noticing. Okay. Shame, I kind of wish I had started the stream earlier if I wasn't so busy. Because I probably would have tried to get at least one more dungeon done. I'm definitely trying to put a lot more thought into these shots than I was thinking I would. But I'm also not sad at that fact. Because I think the footage is turning out really good. Let's see, the boss is right up. Yeah. Huh. Boss is right there. Do what I want to do? Just get like one more scenic but stop pinging me. Oh. I'm gonna need to. I'm just gonna need to record the fight because he pops right out and I believe he just immediately starts fighting. I don't think I can get away from that. Unless get over here. These guys don't follow. What the fuck was that? You motherfucker. Oh, he doesn't. Okay. Okay. Okay, that actually works. That actually works. Okay. Crash mobs aren't going to start spawning for a little while. Give me 1 second to check the Discord message. Okay. So should be in a decent position here. Not going to. What is wrong with... There we go. Okay. Start from there. And then just kind of show where he bursts out of. I feel like that's appropriate. Okay. At least I got that. I can probably try and get maybe like one more shot. I don't think I can get that shot reliably. And I think all those disappear when he dies. Trying to think of what other shot I can get. Let me label the one I got. At least I have 3 for him, 3 solid ones. Let me worry about the fight for now. Okay, so he really only has 3 mechanics. That one's easy to pick up, that one's easy to pick up, and that's just trash mobs. That'll be something that'll pick up by itself. So I don't need to potentially kill him to get mechanics out. That's nice, in a way. No, basically just let him do his thing. Come on. There you go. Surprised the door doesn't close. Maybe it will. Okay, yep. Gives you a few seconds. I forgot this was the expansion pack where monks were reduced. This was such a killer ability back in the day. It's such a pain in the ass for melee, which I've pretty much always been a melee DPS in this game. Yep. Air breath. I forgot he spins. Rather slow. I thought I remembered him spinning faster with that. Although I guess it does like one-shot you if you're off level for it. Anyways, that's all I need for that. I can just... Ah. Nibbler. I feel like that was involved with questing, but I haven't done the questing for Valley of the Four Winds in forever. Oh, they are still there. I would really like to get a shot of that, but I don't know how to. I have no clue where these came from, but okay. It'll pay for repairs. And I would really like to get a shot of that, but without like a mod or something that lets me zoom up into a spectator mode. I think I'll be able to get it, because do this, I could just barely see their heads. Yeah, it doesn't want me up there because it doesn't want me down there. But I think on the outside, that's closed. Hmm. I would very much like another shot. But we're starting to get to into the realm of what would be considered the next boss's stuff, and I don't want to short that boss of footage just to get this boss's footage kept up. If I could just mount or anything to doubt it, but let me think. I don't think there are any toys. I don't know if I'd even have them. Let's see. I don't think that would make me taller than a Draenei. Definitely won't make me taller than a Draenei. Okay. I think. I guess I could grab a shot of this. Seems lazy. I could very easily get this exact shot from out the dungeon. Oh. Want something more, but you know what I could do? I'm a huge fan of it. Let's just go like pure vertical. A little bit of a cop out, but depending on how long I talk about this boss in particular, might not even need this piece of footage. So this will be like the backup piece. I already have 2 minutes and 15 seconds, and this will just put me at 3 minutes. Yeah. Okay. That's that. Right? Do I want to get this shot of the elemental? Or do I want to get a later shot? I think I might want to get a later shot. Yeah, I'm pretty confident in getting a later shot.
What's it? Are they... What are they doing to our elementals? Hey. Hey,
Definitely.
you! Those are our flying
This.
beer monsters?
This room is just beautiful. Can I close this? Oh, yes. I don't know why, but that makes it work. Okay. Let's see, for this one, probably want about 5 minutes. Maybe. Yeah, I think 5 minutes is a safe bet. I would say 4, but I don't want to risk too little. So I'll just get 7 shots if I can. Yeah, if that wasn't such a boring backdrop. Might try over here. And then get like those guys on a completely separate one. I really like the idea of this shot where I'm just like standing right here getting them. This one and the next one are probably going to move very, very little. But again, if I need to, and I have enough extra footage, I can just kind of put together the best scenes. Like with the dungeon lore part, I think all of those I'll probably take a few seconds of instead of just like cutting 1 or 2 out. Pretty much all those shots, and then some of these, sometimes it's just limited based on how long the dungeon is and how much it has to offer. go up that far.
Yes, yes, yes! So close! Just a pinch of... Oops!
How to approach this? I think we got a shot of two things. So I'm not gonna bother with that. Can do this dumbass experimenting with God knows what. And this will move extremely small amounts. Basically from him almost mid-frame to him just barely out of frame. Or almost out of frame rather. I don't really that much. He doesn't do that much. I feel like that'll be a really good shot right here. I just noticed these right now. I didn't know those existed, but I really like the concept of that shot. I'll do that later. I was thinking that might even be good for an outro, but then I was like, I don't even know if I'm gonna do an outro. Because the way it'll be structured, it'll feel like one big thing. But I definitely want that shot regardless. Let me label what I got first.
Too bitter. Just a drop of honey and a cane of sugar and maybe some corn. Yes!
I don't think these ones automatically attack. I already got... I think I already got what I think is a better of the elementals just sitting there. So like, do I really need... It actually looks sick. Do I really need like another one with a different background, which I already got the bottom half of before? So I think the answer is no.
No, 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 no! Yes! No! Peppers!
Huh, I thought the boss is coming up. Get these looted so they disappear. Okay. Those. Get the hell out of Dodge.
Ah! Help! What is that thing? Ah, doesn't matter. Nothing will stop me now. Not when I'm so close. Maybe if I don't look at it.
Waiting for those to despawn. If I can help it. I like to avoid having those in shot. Literally just checked your Instagram. Glad I did. Oh, yeah. I was gonna post something on Instagram and I was like, eh. Just because it's not like a real serious stream, I'm just kind of chilling. Just getting footage or stuff. Ugh. What game is this? This is World of Warcraft. Is it? I don't even know. Somewhere in the description it should say World of Warcraft. If it says Skyrim, then I blame YouTube. I updated that. Let's see. What do I need to look out for? If he follows me around, then that's not an issue. But I get the feeling he stands still. So, if I walk away, I can get footage of him casting that. WoW looks so different from when I played, which was years ago. Yeah, and what you're seeing now is like stuff from the game in 2012. The stuff like nowadays looks probably twice as good as this, and that's saying something, since this compared to like Burning Crusade or even like Wrath of the Lich King is such a massive upgrade. Let's see. I could probably run away from that. Actually get him to pass that. I should be able to... I don't even know. All three of these, they're just kind of drawn out over time. Oh, that RNG works. So, how many scenic shots do I have? 4? I could live with 5, but I'd like 6. Well, I already have that. I'm gonna get the boss first. Then... can't get that. Already got plenty of footage of that, so that'll probably have to be it for scenic shots. So, yeah, just the boss fight. Okay. Hopefully he doesn't follow me. There we go. Yep. And there we go. Bolt. Increases magical damage taken. Oh, hi. I don't even know what he's doing right now. Oh boy. I didn't even remember that ability existed. God, that was such a big hang-up back in the day. That one ability was a nightmare. Oh no, I screwed that up. Maybe not. Nope, I'm good. See. Oh god. Get to the corner. I simultaneously love and hate that fight mechanic because I remember wiping to it so many times back in the day. Okay, well I think he's pretty much doing the same things at this point, so. Sly Cooper vibes. Looking at the visuals, I honestly can't say. Mostly because I don't have my headphones on. And I've never played Sly Cooper.
It is the perfect brew. The name of Storm Stout will be sung once again.
Let me just
Out they
enable that footage. Oh, don't watch it. Oh, stop. Go and then get this one last bit.
cost. The brewery is trashed, infested. Details, details. And there are vermin in the main store. Look, Chen Storm Stout, we all can't be heroes, running from our responsibilities, tromping around the dread wastes, saving the world.
Okay.
Some of us are artists.
I think the brewery might be on fire.
Yes, yes,
Okay,
that happened.
and I think that's the last piece of footage for this dungeon. I might run off and do another dungeon. I'll have to see which one it is. If it's like Temple of the Jade Serpent, I don't mind doing it. If it's like Shadowpan Monastery, then that's a whole different story because that dungeon is so long and I don't have the mental capacity to deal with trying to figure out where I need to take footage of that dungeon. There's a level set in China that reminds me of this. The boss is a panda who uses fireworks. Well, this is Mists of Pandaria, so you got pandas and stuff. There you go.
So, got any stories?
He's extremely famous in WoW lore. He's been around since... Oh crap, when did Warcraft 3 come out? That was... like 02, I think? 02, 01? Maybe a little bit earlier. I don't think it was in the 90s. I know the first two Warcrafts were. Anyways, let me label that and then I'll double check which dungeon is next on the list. Five. Okay. I now have 3 3/4 gigabytes of footage for this dungeon. Really not a thing to get out fast. Oh, that's a pain in the ass. I think it was, yeah, it might have been Warlords of Draenor, the next expansion pack that's introduced the thing where you get out of dungeons fast, although Burning Crusade did have it. Did you see the article that Kotaku put about BioWare? I don't think so. Well, you can see down there. That's a lot of footage. Not really. A lot of high quality footage, but it's only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8, 24 different shots. It's all in 1080p though, because a lot of it's that scenic stuff that you saw. I have some console commands, so I can like set one camera angle there, one camera angle there, and then turn off the UI and it'll just automatically pan. And I have it set to take 45 seconds to go from one point to the next. And I can just double tap it to go instantly. And then I have a little bit of footage of fights and stuff. It makes for a good video. And then I'll have to figure out. I'm doing this a little bit reverse order from what I used to do, which is record the audio in the script. And then record the footage itself, so I know how much footage I need to get. But this time around I'm just getting so much extra footage that there's almost no way that I will have to worry about not having enough. Okay, which dungeon is in that? Let me check. There is an order that I'm doing these in. Temple of the Jade Serpent. Okay. That one is pretty easy. I believe it's 4 bosses. 4 bosses, yep. And they're all pretty simple. I think they have a good amount of lore to them, so I'll probably need more shots than what I needed here. But at the same time, it'll be easier to get those shots because it's such a scenic place. BioWare is piss poor working conditions, which is really sad. They had a room. They had a room staff could go cry in because of the stress. Yeah, I didn't read the Kotaku article, but I saw there's a content creator who's a former games journalist. I guess he's still a games journalist in some regard, but he doesn't work for any outlet. Called Jim Sterling. He has a show called The Jimquisition where he talked about that. Would take 3-month-long vacations for their mental health. Yeah, they referred to it as stress casualties, which is a military term. And like, I don't understand. I mean, I do understand BioWare is complete trash. Not their games, but their company. So it doesn't surprise me that they're just garbage at management. Let's see. Oh god. Okay, so I basically have free reign of the entire Jade Forest for this dungeon, just like I did for this. And the Jade Forest is probably my favorite zone in the entire game. So, ooh, wait. You want to see a piece of history for my channel? Let me find it. Like right over here, somewhere. Somewhere in this bamboo forest. Or like just outside of it. There it is. There it is. So, one of my really old YouTube banners was... Oh god, this was like my sophomore year in college. So like 2015. Where I took a picture of this bridge, I think from this angle. It might have been from the other side, but I think it was from this angle. And basically what I did is I had like... Ah, god, I might be able to find it. Hold on. Let me... I might like have this exact picture archived in my Google things. Photos. My god. Go away. Okay, this is gonna take a little bit of archiving to do. let's see, 2017. Okay, we're getting into 2015s. Yup. Okay. Let me just add a screen share. Screen share, display capture. Okay, so I'll turn off the game for a second. Right here. Yep, there we go. That was it. I thought it was so clever. That was freaking MS Paint. I think no, this wasn't the final version. I think the final version was this. Yeah. I changed it slightly so that the words were a bit further down. This was on my old computer. The graphics were much lower, but yep, that was, and like what you could see on the YouTube banner was basically cut off right here and then cut off right there. It was like almost perfect. And it cut off right about here and here on mobile, and then like it went to the end of the bridge for desktop. Oh yeah, I did that too. This was, oh, why is it so blurry? There we go. That was my first attempt at using GIMP. This. It still looks really nice. Yeah. I had this for a short while. I literally just went in GIMP and made a bunch of random zigzag lines. Okay, let's. So yeah. Okay. So basically, because you weren't here when I was getting the. So what I do with Dungeon Overview is basically an overview of the boss mechanics and the lore. So how to fight through the dungeon and the actual story behind the dungeon. And that's the dungeon right over there. But because it's the only dungeon, same with this. Where'd it go? Not that. Zoom out. This was the only dungeon in this zone, so I took like shots from everywhere. Normally I just take shots from around the dungeon, but because a lot of this expansion pack only has like one dungeon per area, I can get away with just taking shots from everywhere in the zone. And because a lot of these dungeons don't have the most amount of lore to the bosses themselves. Like, well, this only has 4 bosses. This one is going to have a lot of lore. She'll have a little bit of lore. He doesn't have very much. He might have a little bit, but these two won't really have that much. That's about normal, and that's going to have a decent amount of lore. So to sort of make up for these two, I generally try to go really in-depth on the dungeon lore itself. Which means I need a lot of footage, which gives me the opportunity, with a newer format that I'm experimenting with, that I can just kind of go around the entire zone and pick my favorite places, and I got some really nice shots from the previous one. In this zone in particular, like I said before, is my absolute favorite in the entire game, and that's saying something because I have quite a few zones that I really enjoy. Oh wow! Okay, well it's kind of redundant because lore stuff. That basically this is a statue of the Jade Serpent that we're going to the temple of, but I forgot that I haven't really done questing on this character. I kind of leveled him up without questing through this area. But eventually this area becomes ruined, the statue gets knocked in half, and less pretty. But because I only did like 1 quest in this area, yeah, 1 out of 12. Battle for the Forest, I think. Or no, has to be the last one, Overcoming Doubt. That's the one where you destroy everything. So I don't really think I want that statue as part of the visuals, though. So let me think. This I will probably trying to think of how long I could talk about the lore for this dungeon for, because I don't have the script written out yet. Realistically, I could talk for 5 minutes, which is about 7 to 8 shots. So let's see. I'd like to get some distinct places. Is the Jade Serpent a lady? Yes. You have four... they're known as wild gods, similar to the Loa, which are just like they're natural deities. And these four wild gods, these four August Celestials as they're called, for Pandaria, this specific continent, there's four of them. You have the Jade Serpent. Here you have the White Tiger, the Red Crane, and then the Black Ox. And only the Jade Serpent is female. Actually, I think you can get a pet of one of her brood. That. Can't really see it that well. There you go. And basically the lore behind that is that that's not only a statue, that's supposed to be like the Jade Serpent's reincarnation. So she's kind of like a phoenix in that way, where they have to build the statue out of pure jade, and then she sheds her old body because it gets tired, and then her spirit inhabits the new one. And then I think there might be... There's a little bit more to it, but that's the basics of it. Let's see. So in terms of places, I could probably get 2 shots out of the temple itself. I definitely want Dawn's Blossom. I could definitely get the Arbitorium. I don't really want to get this orchard. There's Nectar Breeze Orchard, and then there's the Arbitorium, which are relatively similar. But this place, as you may notice, is on fire. So I would like to keep it relatively serene leading up to the dungeon itself. So let's see, that is... Oh, Pearlfin Village, right. So you got koi fish people. You also got monkeys, Hosen as they're called. They're quite interesting. Let's see, so I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I definitely want to get the monastery. That's like one of my favorite places in the entire zone. That'll be 6. I can get Gruken Hill, which is a horde place. That's fine. And that could be 7. And I could get one of the Mogu places, like temple right on the other side of this rock. There's a temple right up there. You want to see the koi people? Well, good, because I'm going there in just a minute. I'm just trying to map out where I'm going. I don't really want to get any of the Mogu places, because the Mogu are... they're... Hell is this? Okay, I don't think I've ever... Oh no, I have. Okay, I know this quest. Yeah, this is the village. But it's right next to a battlefield, and there's a village with very, very similar architecture up there that I think looks nicer. Right, so I don't... This is actually the Alliance starting area for the entire continent. This is actually the very first zone that you go into. So that's fun. I love this place. Like, everywhere you go is just beautiful. Let's see, yeah, I think this is Mogu. Yep. So the Mogu are basically like these stone statues, except some of them are turned to life. The actual stone Mogu are, and they are relatively that large as well. I don't think I can find it nearby. Aside from the orchard, they were there. What's this? Oh yeah, this is a little temple. Dreamer's Pavilion, yep. That's part of the questing stuff. Oh right, this is Lore Walker Cho's. Oh, derp. Yeah, this is Lore Walker Cho's place. I completely forgot that he had a house. Because he just wanders everywhere. And he never returns here. Like, you quest here once. And that's it. Okay, koi people. Honestly, this is... Like, I like the Hosen, but the Jinyu, as they're called, are so cool. Like, their architecture and everything is, like, fascinating. Like, the Alliance team up with these guys, and the Horde team up with the Hosen. Make it a better. There we go. I don't have my headphones on, but I'm assuming you can hear them talk. I like their whole like mysticism about them as well. Right now I'm just kind of neutral because I haven't done any questing, but by the time you finish questing with them, you're basically exalted. This entire expansion pack is still one of my favorites. I think there's a few others that beat it, but this one I still think has the best aesthetic. Okay, so how do I even want to get a shot of this? I can't go too far because like if you go over here, or no, okay, this is still friendly. I go like over here, yeah, you start to see like the Hosen. You can't really get too close. There are friendly Hosen, but nowhere nearby. Yeah, I'm gonna stay like within their village itself. What I might do is just set my character to walk on a mountain a little. I get a little bit of a vantage point. This is where I set the path to walk to. Maybe here, and then just like go from here and then pan over to here. So like by the time I'm done, I'll be looking at that. Maybe at like the edge of the... I don't know. It's hard to explain, but you'll kind of walk. As I don't run into anything, hopefully. I'm gonna start off right about there. By the time I'm done, I want to go about here. Yep, that's what I was afraid of. It wants to go that way. Okay, so I need to end it like right here then. Yep, okay. So it takes the path of least resistance, so it won't actually take a long way around. It'll just turn you around if you make it too wide of an angle. So there's a little bit of finagling with this. Okay. Oh yes, they also have pet fish that float in bubbles. Nice, okay, I was worried I'd get tripped up on the fountain there, but I don't think that'll be the case. Their fins do not look like koi fins. Well, their lore. Pandaria, towards the end of the expansion pack, got really dark in some ways. So, they explained the origination of a lot of the species from Pandaria, one of which being the Jinyu. So essentially, they are... The Mogu experimented with flesh-shaping technologies. And they essentially took murlocs and enhanced their brain power, basically, and they turned into the Jinyu. So they are murlocs, for all intents and purposes. That's probably why they don't look exactly like koi people, because they're not really descended from koi. Okay. Where do I want to go next? I could probably just head up to the temple. Yeah, that's the next closest place. I'm gonna be going all the way up here. Over to there, then there. And definitely the monastery. Probably do Gruken Hill. I think it's somewhere around here. Or it might be up north further. Where you can actually find the exact location that the Mists of Pandaria cinematic took place in. Like you actually find the lamppost that's like broken and everything, and I just find that hilarious. I don't think they've like ever done that since. Obviously not prior. Let's see. Ever used Blender 3D modeling program? No. It does sound familiar. I think people use it for machinimas for a while.
Browse. Take your time. Enjoy. Jade Serpent guide you.
No, I'm not quite that artistic. I'm good at getting like shots and putting them together, but I can't like draw, and I can't do 3D modeling. One of my friends can. He actually has certificates in 2D and 3D animation. I think I know one shot that I want, which is actually like inside. But the cool thing with these dungeons is that they're all to scale, so I can just fly up. Oh yeah, by the way, this is the dungeon. And it is to scale. Probably one of the most beautiful things. I remember I made, like way back in the day, I had made a Minecraft palace that was based around this. It wasn't like to scale or anything, it was just like basic concepts. It came out pretty good. And this is like, when I say to scale, I mean like to the dot. This is the expansion pack that they started doing that. Like you can actually explore the dungeon and everything without any mobs. There's actually some questing in here as well. Not in the dungeon, but like in here specifically. Let's see. Well, basically, one shot I want to get is an aerial shot, because this entire temple is just like the coolest thing. Just gonna try and get all of it centered and in the. It would help if I could see the whole frame. Okay. Then right about here. Stop right about there. Whew. Whoa, I was not expecting the weather to change like that. Okay. Then I'd like to get a shot of somewhere in like the outer ring of the temple, like still within the walls, but not like somewhere over here maybe. Actually, yeah, that. You can actually get these as mounts. I have a few actually. They're called cloud serpents. Let me find some. I have a few that are cloud. Oh yeah, this is also from Mists. Mists of Pandaria, the expansion. It's based off of the thing, Nimbus from Dragon Ball Z. But anyways, the Cloud Serpents. Get that. When did I get this? Okay. There's a version of this that has the lightning like this one does, but it's so annoying to get. And that one is probably my favorite just because it took so long to get. It glows and it makes noise. Let's see. Place to have bar? Cool. Then again, I say that, and this is an entire society based around brewing, so, you know. See, the problem with these bridges is they look really good, but like if I zoomed in like this, you'd see like bridge, 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 pretty. So, I've done that before, like way in the past, with this series, and I'm not quite pleased with those shots. I'd much rather. I want to be careful of not walking straight either, because this is very windy. I don't really want to fall off the cliff. What the hell is this? What is this? I've never seen. This isn't related to a. Five. It's secret. If I told you. Okay.
Next one is on me.
That's so random. Like, they have literally nothing to do with the main storyline. Granted, I say that, and there is a secret. Oh shoot, let me find it. There is a secret weapon. I believe it's a fist weapon. Maybe? I think it's... Let me find it. I think it would count as a dagger. Okay, it has to be this. It's a lobster claw. Like you kill a bunch of overgrown lobsters, and then you kill a mini raid boss that's a lobster. And then you get that. Let's see. I want to get something around the temple. Of course I could just do this. Like that. Down to there. Actually, yeah, I like that shot. Sometimes a certain touch of laziness is required. Okay. Of course, because this is a larger sweeping motion, it'll go faster. mostly like how that turned out. I don't think it'll be the best shot I get for this dungeon, but pretty good. I think I'll be able to get the ground moving panning shots that I want in the monastery up north. Okay. Arbitorium, which is right here. This is also where you get the Cloud Serpent pets. Supposedly they're gonna have some sort of like racing thing to gain reputation, but that never got implemented. Let's see. I wish I could set my flights slower than normal. Make this so much easier. Mount. Let's see. I think this is a good straight shot. And then just kind of pan from over there to back towards here. That should be good. And there. There. Just making sure it's going in the right direction. Okay. There's like 4 different button presses I have to do to make this work. So these like walking and panning shots actually take they took quite a lot of getting used to back in the day when I was first trying to figure this out. My one fear is that the bugs there, the wasps, will aggro to me. They shouldn't, but if I happen to walk right on top of one, they will. If they get in the way of the shot, I'll be mad. Personally, I love these shots the most. Yep, there you go, but that's fine because that was right at the edge of the clip. I'm probably going to be able to flip that out. Just label the shots that I have so far. Yes. Dungeon Lore 2. Okay. Dawn's Blossom, which is like the big town for this area. Probably one of my favorite towns in this area as well. There's a few, but I like this one the most because it has like the least conflict around it. A lot of the other ones are like, oh, do this and then this and then this and then this, because there's so much conflict, and this one is just kind of like away from it all. It's also, I believe, a neutral town. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you come across both Alliance and Horde here. The Horde starts up here. They work their way down. And you start like down here, go over here, work your way in the center, and then get up here. Yep, there you go, Horde. Oh yeah, it would help if I turned off walking. See. Where do I want to get the footage from? I feel like I could get a good shot walking down these stairs. This is going to be my go-to mount for it. I like the added height it gives. Let's back up as far as it'll let us go on this trajectory. Be about as far. Yep. Okay. Would be heading straight towards the stairs that head out of town. Hopefully that little hand there doesn't block our view too much. No, I think it won't. Should be fine. Yeah, we're kind of moving past it. Okay. Perfect. I'm never entirely sure about these shots until I see them in motion. I'll probably have to cut this off a little bit early. Maybe not. No, not really. Wow. Wow. That worked really well. Okay. One or two more shots from outside the dungeon, then I can actually go inside and get... What the hell did I just... How did I manage that? How did he get up there? Okay. Yeah, I think that's Greenwood Village or something like that. Greenstone Village. That was close. I remember people being attacked by Jade. Ooh, wait. Yes. No. Oh, I forgot. It doesn't do the thing until you quest. Uh. I might hop on another character just to get that footage. Because this, as you quest, these three panels slowly unveil. And that would be such a cool shot. Oh my god. Yeah, I'm gonna go get the monastery. Straight from here, over here. I'm gonna go get the monastery, and then I'm gonna hop on another character real quick and get that, because that is such a good idea for a shot. Oh, actually, I think the... Yeah, one sec. Let me find it. Where that the... There's a thing... Yep, it's right up here. I think. That should be it. There's a thing that is from the intro, the like big cinematic for Mists of Pandaria. I think it's up here. It's up here. I think. Somewhere around here. I just need to figure it out. There it is. Yes. Broken incense burner. If you go watch the Mists of Pandaria cinematic, you'll see exactly what that's from, and you actually get an achievement. And then like it opens up, yep, it opens up and you look down straight onto that. So like they recreated it so beautifully. Anyways, let me go back to the monastery. That's where I want to get footage from. And this, I love this monastery. It's so large, and it's all just like friendly quests. Aside from like when you go over here and it's a little bit of annoying stuff, but like most of this over here is such good questing. I feel like going through here is probably the best. Let's see. Ooh, I think given area, I could very easily just do this. Okay, just wanted to make sure it was turning in the right direction. Okay. I definitely want to get that one last thing. I'll do it on the character I know for a fact has all the quests done. Because it was my character that was my main back in this expansion pack. And I'll head back to, let's see. I'll probably go to the Arbitorium. Yeah. And I'll log off real quick. Up on character. It actually has that wall done. Okay. Okay, where the hell am I? Wait, they still have portals here? I thought they moved it. Oh no, they just moved those portals, gotcha. Hmm. Oh yeah, they moved that too. See where it is. Adon Village portal. There it is. Wish I brought you to Dawn's Blossom instead, but oh well. It makes sense lore-wise. Just that Paudon Village is all the way down here. I don't want to go all the way up there. Yeah, here you go. Have pretty much every lore thing done with this character besides the most recent stuff. can see all the lines come off and whatnot as you do more questing. And we'll get to see that in the dungeon. Yeah, I might even be able to... I'm gonna say I might even be able to do that, but nah. I think what I'll do is just make a very, very small pan. Go from like there to there. Yeah. I found that sometimes these really subtle pans work really well as well. Help if I had my stopwatch out. I kinda wish Overwatch had something like this. Instead I have to do it manually with a Xbox controller. I don't even own an Xbox, I just got the controller for like the few games that need it. What basis the world? I'm assuming you meant to say what has the world come to? Well, the lore behind this is that the guy on the far left is the last emperor, and he saw... Okay, so... oh god. There's like 7 layers of Warcraft lore that that you need to understand. But basically, emotions in Pandaria are coalesced into raw power. Negative emotions in particular coalesce into a power called the Sha, S-H-A, which is very bad. Let me show you what happened to the statue, because there's Sha everywhere. And there are 7 very particular Sha. That are like the biggest and the baddest. The Sha of Doubt. That. I think it's all... it's not like the 7 deadly sins, but it's like close to it. Like there is a Sha of Pride, there's a Sha of Anger, stuff like that. That's what happens to the statue. So basically, the Emperor couldn't foresee humans and orcs, in this case, the Alliance and the Horde, because he only knew of his people. I mean, like, he knew of other peoples, but he couldn't fathom a war breaking out on his homeland. That didn't involve his people. There we go, there's a Sha. There should be larger ones around here as well. Unless someone came in and cleared them out. Because there are quests. Oh, there's one. That's like a medium-sized one. And you got a really big one that's in the dungeon. And that's like the actual Sha of Doubt, whereas these are just like remnants of doubt or like echoes of doubt. Stuff like that. So very... But essentially, what happens is the Alliance and the Horde fight. They... actually, I wonder. I'll have to check something real fast. I run off to the Vale of Eternal Blossoms just to see if I can't view... Hey, like the skybox for the Sha? And it goes away. But yeah. I'm gonna run off to the Vale of Eternal Blossoms real fast, which is like the end game, one of the end game zones. The first end game zone for Mists. Because there you could see at least some cinematics. I'm not sure if I could see the correct ones. Or rather, the correct one that I'm thinking of. But it's worth a shot, because it's a lot easier to show you than try and explain it with words, because... well... I mean, hell. Yeah, I have that. This title, which is... Or rather... fitting. Although I like this one better. And floor walkers are up. This used to be all pristine and whatnot, but at the end of the expansion, stuff happened. I might be able to show you that as well. I think maybe. Ender.
I am listening.
Where do I go to view these? Yeah. Hold on, let me Google it. Because if it's someone in this room, I'd rather know. But on some. Whatever, I can't find it. Unless it's Cho, but I don't think so.
Greetings.
That's different stuff.
Eyes open. Always be learning.
See, like in later expansions, they have these NPCs called chroniclers, where you can just go and like talk to them, and they'll let you see a lot of the cinematics that you completed. But I don't think.
What do you need?
No.
Goodbye. Tell me of your travels.
No, I don't think so. Romy, I don't think.
We meet again.
No. Whatever. Go back on my warrior. Oh, God. Yeah, I think actually it was Warlords of Draenor that originally made the Chronicler NPCs. Hop in the dungeon. Oh, derp. I was there for a reason. Like to show where the entrance is. Because that used to be a thing I looked up a lot. So I just made a point of putting that in these videos. People tend to like it. Great that you told me how to get through the dungeon, but how do I get to the dungeon? Actually, do they have it here? They might not. I don't see it. I think it requires more questing. But essentially, in the questing, when you come here, there's like a little girl that you do some quests for, and that turns out to be the Jade Serpent in disguise. Anyways. Just get that labeled. If I didn't label it now, I would be in so much trouble trying to figure it out later. Okay, let's see. Which one is supposed to be first? What I thought. Whatever. Okay. Think. I feel like this is a decent spot. Mostly because I know how small the the rooms are. What the hell? Yeah. Okay. Disoriented myself. What are they arguing about? I have no clue. I don't have my headphones on, so I don't have the audio. So you would know better than I. Okay. I think I'll take this guy out, and then I'll get more. What don't I get down there? Fight him. Yeah, I'll get these. A little bit of space to deal with that. Oh, god damn it. Can't hear them, then they don't have any audio. I think they're arguing. Well, knowing the story of the dungeon, the Shah has taken hold with the Jade Serpent already weakened, and now her new vessel being destroyed. Shah has basically taken over the temple. These two are, as you could probably tell by their titles, Master and Priestess. So not exactly helpless, but probably arguing / discussing over what the hell they're gonna do. Let's say, is that gonna wear out anytime soon? But it is. We're good. Okay. I don't think they have toads or salamanders in Pandaria. I know they have them in certain zones, but not here. Maybe toads. I'm not entirely sure. I think they're more frogs. They do have another kind of lizard, though. I don't think I'll get the chance to show you that, though. You know, this is a really simple shot, but I like it. I don't know, I think it's partially just because that's a really beautiful scene, like the lights coming in through the windows. Okay. Oh, I have ideas for the next two. Get the dash mobs out of the way. Damn it. Okay. We can get one here. I can just kind of like go like this from the water, because that actually looks pretty cool. So beautiful. I'm pretty sure it damages you. No? Okay. I know it damages you during the fight. Ah. Okay. Let's see. I'd like to get this shot right here. Nope. Okay. Forgot that does a thing.
You will drown. Let death wash over.
Well, this works too. Oh dear God, I forgot. Things happen. Things happen here. Oh God. What is happening? Okay, okay. Need 4 of them. I thought for a second it was something else. Boom. Okay, next phase. Hopefully.
Behold the
Yep.
power
Here we go.
of torrential waters.
Oh no. Oh no. Oh dear God. I don't think he's gonna stop. I'm just gonna. Yep.
Clears. I peer into these waters, and my reflection is empty waters. Claim me.
He didn't do a normal death animation, he just. Okay. I forgot to loot those. Oh yeah, now the waters will actually heal you. During the fight they'll damage you if you step in them. Apparently it costs the fight to start. Because I forgot about that. Let's see. Should be able to get a good top-down view. What do you think about Sekiro? Personally, I enjoy playing my games, but not struggle to squeeze milk out of a rock. Yeah, I don't mind some difficulty in games, but I'm certainly not the kind of person who'd go and like voluntarily play Dark Souls. So, yeah. Although there are some games out there that supposedly have a good amount of difficulty, but like really aren't that difficult, like Ori and the Blind Forest. Really not that hard of a game, but for some reason they got this bad rep of being like stupid hard. I think people are just bad at platformers. Oh yeah, okay. Forgot the door has to open the other way. So you have these two rooms, and once you get both of them, the door to this way opens up and brings you to the third boss. But I was thinking, I didn't remember that, so I was like, why would it? Anyways, yeah. Let's see. Forward a little bit. Yeah, that's good. Fortunately, these first few dungeons don't have too much to like walk inside the halls and get a good shot while moving. I know some of the later dungeons do, like Siege on Nuizao Temple, Gate of the Setting Sun. Well, Gate of the Setting Sun is literally just a giant wall, so that's easy enough to walk straight on. Yeah. See if I can't get a good shot of multiple of these.
You there, in the rafters! My sacred library has become possessed by the Shah!
Okay. Some casually swimming by. I can make it.
See how they pour from every letter of these sacred scrolls, corrupting them, defiling them. I beseech you, kind strangers, cleanse this place of their foul presence. Lay our stories to rest. You must destroy the source of the corruption. Quickly, before our cherished history is erased forever.
Yes, I can hear.
I remember back in the day when you did this on the hardest difficulty, which I actually am right now. It doesn't matter because I'm so high level. But you get a choice between, not a choice, but you get the chance between one of the two fights, that one or this one, and you wanted this one because that one was basically impossible. So if you got that, you basically just wiped, reset the dungeon, try it again. So you always did this fight first because you couldn't reset the dungeon if you killed a boss. Fun times. Why was it impossible? Basically, the numbers that you needed to output in terms of damage and healing were not sustainable. So like you needed to be top geared, essentially, just to beat this dungeon. And this dungeon doesn't even give that good of a loot table. Like, yeah, there you go, that's the loot table. 3 things for my particular class, and it's about the same. So if you didn't need one of these pieces, or, you know, you could get those pieces or similar pieces that were just as good elsewhere in a different dungeon. So this dungeon was usually pretty hated on the highest difficulty. Because this fight slowly ramps up in damage over time to a point where it just becomes impossible. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yup. This is the impossible one.
If I am not mistaken, the tale of Zhao Sunseeker has come to
5
life
suns.
before us.
It was either this
According to
or something else, and you always wanted something else. This happened, you immediately ran away.
Burned brightly in the sky. When the winds blew, their intense heat caused great wildfires. Crops
That's
wilted,
hilarious.
Villages burned, and families wandered endlessly to seek refuge from the flames.
I can allow this no longer!
Yeah, so basically,
The fires, they are burning
4
the
of these
library.
will shoot at you.
These heroes purge this evil
Fire
before the
tornadoes will
temple
run around and hurt
crumbles
you.
to ash.
And these do not have a small amount of health. And then they do that. So you needed to tank 2 down at once. But that was not easy.
The blistering heat must have dulled my senses. Mirages! All of you!
Zhao has become
Yep.
corrupted.
And then this.
Please.
So it's like you have to go through that whole thing, which was not easy. And then it does this, and this guy shoots really fast and really hard.
Zhao was a true champion of our people. How sad it is to see his
That's basically
story
it.
tainted by the Shah.
Of course, you know,
I am
I'm
relieved to
30
see
levels
justice
above
serve my
what it's supposed to be.
thanks, heroes. You have given peace
So,
to this
It's
city.
much easier for me to
Now, off with you.
deal with it,
I
but
require
normal people
meditation
couldn't.
before I begin
back in the day.
restoration ritual.
I want to place this so that I start here and then looking at that. So I'll do something like this, just make it very subtle. I'll slowly look up stairs, which will make it feel less impressive. Have to redo it. And I'll forget the stair thing. Yeah. Worth a shot. What I can do is the thing I was originally thinking of is this. Oh god. Okay. Let me just name that. Take a quick break to stretch my legs. Just gonna do that. I'll be back in a few minutes. Just give me one sec. Okay. I'm gonna finish up this dungeon. I'm gonna be done for the night. I have another dungeon in me. Unfortunately, I started this so late. Otherwise, I might have. So, mini balls. I made that probably when Overwatch first came out. So that picture is like 2 years old at this point. Okay. My phone go. There it is. Otherwise, I don't do very good at keeping track of 45 seconds. Let's see. You faster.
Greetings, wanderer. Hello. Hello.
Your forces are weak.
Okay. This angle. Reading through Discord. I got like 3 different messages. Anyways. Finished labeling these files. Looking for... I might not be able to show that because I killed her by accident. Hopefully not. But it's a possibility. I do this. You know, take away my sword. It's fine. We'll live. I still might kill her in one shot. So you got something. Are you kidding me? Oh dear.
Jade Serpent.
Oh dear. Oh no. Oh, oh no. I can't hit her again. I can't show the thing. Oh, whatever, I get the worst mechanic out of the way. I
Must continue.
I don't...
The Jade Serpent must be reborn.
Wait. Something happened. It worked. Yes. Worked. Fire's so hard to see. I can't see what's going on. That's the Jade Serpent, by the way. Close enough.
Be free of doubt, priestess. The haze has been lifted from my eyes. Forgive me.
That's the Shaw of Doubt. He looks very see-through. Well, she is, like I said, at the end of her current body's lifespan. She requires assistance to retain her physical form instead of an ethereal one. There is a lore reason behind that, and why the other August Celestials don't. But that's a really long story. Okay. Oh boy. Voldemort. Okay. What the hell am I gonna do for all the lore bits? Well, I could do that. That. But cool. Yeah. That's one. It'd help if I enabled that fight. Yep. Okay. This looks a lot cooler than I was expecting it to originally. You can hardly tell what you're looking at, but I like it. Don't mind me, I'm just here for the scenery. Yeah, I'll probably want about 6 different shots for this, which makes it so difficult that it's just one room. Let's see. Most of the Shah, big Shah, mind you, look like that. A few of them do have different colors. Most of them are just black and white. And one of them's like super colorful. Find them. Let's see. Got the ending. I don't think it's. With the ending, I don't think it's quite 30 seconds. Maybe you could try waiting like 15 instead. Oh, and they do the sign-off? Yeah. Mostly what I'm doing then is just like browsing my phone. And then I'm like, oh yeah, I didn't end the stream yet. Then I end it. I'm not trying to get it like perfect. I'm just... yeah. Oh, there's another on a dungeon. Shadowpan Monastery, that's what it is. Yeah, that one's relatively the same. It's a little bit of a green hint of violence. Raids, Pandaria, Shah of Anger. That one's a little bit beefier. I think that's... yeah, and you can actually fight them, or not so much fight the August Celestials, but you can spar them. So these are the other August Celestials. They're all very large. But where else? This one's relatively colorful. Fear. Here. No. You do get to fight her. Which is cool. Here it is. Pride. Is super colorful. I think there might be like 1 or 2 Shah that you fight just like in questing. Like you fully defeat it in questing. That is not the boss, but okay. That's a Mogu. Except that's a good guy. The ones with stone skin are the good guys, and then the ones with flesh are the villains. Like this guy has flesh. He's a villain. Him. That's a troll. Oh. You can actually get this boss as a mount. The Cloud Serpent, that's a star. Why the skin difference? Okay. You said you've played WoW before. Do you know anything about the old gods in Warcraft universe? I do not blame you if you don't. But there's a very major plot point in there. For the stream delay. Like you can fight from back in vanilla. The classic World of Warcraft without any of the expansions. Cthulhu, which is oh, you can't see. Oh well, you kind of can. That guy. Oh wait, yes you can. The giant eyeball. You remember this guy? Or perhaps if you played during Wrath of the Lich King, you might have fought this guy. Either of them look familiar? So when I for like 10 minutes and then died. Okay, so basically the two guys that I showed you are considered old gods. They are creatures of the void, which is like Warcraft's version of the darkness. Essentially the okay, let me check if I can find it. Alright, okay, he is a titan, one of a few. That's another titan, that's another titan. They sort of created the world that we're currently on. And they made a bunch of stone constructs, some of which were the Mogu, except they were stone, obviously. And the old gods had a very tough time corrupting them. So what they did is they applied the curse of flesh, which gave them flesh, made them much easier to corrupt and whatnot. And that spread throughout a lot of the Titans' creations, including dwarves. Dwarves used to be stone-skinned as well. Actually, the Shah are the seven big Shah are the dying breath of what was once the strongest old god. That's why there's 7 Shah, because that old god had 7 heads. Yeah. So basically that's that's the Cliff Notes version. You're talking to someone who's read, I think, 12 out of 30 to 31 novels. So I'm almost halfway there. Granted, I know what happens with the other novels, I just haven't read them for the specific context yet. So like these are not quite old gods, and they're not really aligned with anything. They're just kind of like chaotic evil in a way. Not really aligned with any particular thing, whereas the old gods are a bit more, well, they're still chaotic, but they have WoW has novels? Oh, yes. There's about 30 something novels. There are. Oh god, there's like limitless comics that are free online. The novels, obviously, you have to pay for. Um. Then. There's a bunch of in game stuff, obviously. There's 3 Warcraft real time strategy games, and then World of Warcraft. This game is the 4th installment into that universe instead of a 4th RTS. So you have, let's see, going on 15 years as of this upcoming November that this game has been going on, let alone the original Warcraft, let alone the novels. Yeah. So there is a lot of story that like I said before, there's like 7 layers of Warcraft lore that I would have to explain to go through all of this. But that's like the basic stuff. RuneScape is older and has less lore. Yes. Not every game goes crazy for the lore, and I don't think RuneScape players particularly care about the lore as much. You know, I think some games that probably rival Warcraft in the amount of lore would probably be like The Witcher. Maybe not even The Witcher, probably the Elder Scrolls. But Warcraft is very organized with its lore, so it's very easy for me to just like look something up if I want to, or like, you know, go back into the novels. Whereas like the Elder Scrolls, it's just kind of like everywhere. Not all of it is like high quality. Yeah, there's actually a WoW YouTuber called Nobble87, Nobbel 87, that covers, his entire channel is basically just covering Warcraft lore. And he's been going for like years and years and years. And he's the person who originally got me into Warcraft lore and eventually into like studying the story of all games that I can. So there's a lot to Warcraft lore. I have no idea what else to get footage of. I could probably get the terrace. In the meantime, I'll just do the boss itself. Temple. Crash mobs. Oh yeah, I remember that. Okay. Wait. Well, that? No, never mind. That's a different fight. Okay. 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 I'm thinking of something else, which is good.
Or surrender. You cannot defeat me. See how effortlessly become unraveled.
I know exactly what you're talking about. What you're referring to is the corrupted blood plague. So what happened is, let me deal with this first. So what happened is there was a very old raid that is now a dungeon. Raids are much larger. Whatchamacallit? Raids are 10 to 25 people. Dungeons are 5 people, so significantly smaller. But there is a former raid back in Vanilla. Vanilla is like the original World of Warcraft without any expansions. This right here, called Zul'Gorub. There would be a plague that the final boss plays on you called Corrupted Blood Plague. And what happened is hunters' pets could contract this, and what it did is it was just DOT, damage over time, that you had to either dispel or just last out. And every second or so, it would tick, meaning it would damage you for a certain amount of damage, and at max level, it was a good amount of damage, but it wouldn't kill you outright. However, every time it ticked, it would also spread to any nearby friendly targets, whether that be an NPC or a player. And it would then spread to them as well, so it could very quickly spread. So what happened was hunters figured out that they could recall their pets in the middle of battle, go back to Stormwind City, which you might know Stormwind even if you played for a very brief time. Stormwind right here. They'd go back to Stormwind in the middle of the trade district, which is very populated, where there's a lot of low-level players, and they'd call their pets back, except the Corrupted Blood Plague would not wear off. So it would get summoned back with the pet would tick, instantly contaminate anyone nearby, including NPCs, non-player characters, would also contract it, but because they were max level, it also wouldn't do very much damage to them. However, many of the NPCs in the cities are placed close to each other, and they also patrol around because they're supposed to, protect the city from any, in this case, in Stormwind's case, horde players that come in and try to attack it. So they need to be able to be fighting these players at their level. But as a result, they would basically constantly pass the Corrupted Blood Plague around to the point where you'd get piles upon piles of skeletons, because a lot of low-level players, anyone who wasn't max level and also really geared, because you have to have really good gear to even go into the raid, let alone survive it. So you have a lot of players at anything that's not like top level gear dying almost instantaneously, especially the low-level players. It would just instantaneously wipe them. And it would just keep going and going and going. And it got to the point for approximately, I think it was 18 to 16 hours, the game was unplayable. And it was such a big thing that the CDC did in fact talk to Blizzard, and they wanted data about how it spread, because it was apparently more realistic, obviously on a faster and larger scale, but it was more realistic than any of the CDC's algorithms at that time. So, the Corrupted Blood Plague is actually what got video games on the map in terms of legitimacy, because people were like, wait a minute, like this is real. We can actually use this to study real things, and players can just like go on their merry way. Like, let me find, like, all I'll have to do is Google images. Yep. So okay. So this happened. Oh, here, let me shrink this down a little bit. It actually fits in my window. So yeah, there you go. That's those are actual player bodies, because NPCs don't leave skeletons. The skeletons last for, I think it's 60 minutes when a player dies and releases their spirit to come back and respawn. And that is legitimately like, here's more. This is the boss back in the day that would give it to you. He's another wild god. Yep. Oh, and the funny thing is, actually, now that you mention that, there's a boss in like the current raid, like current game. Um, Not that one. No, that's dungeons. Oh dear. Vectus, which this entire boss is based around that corrupted blood. Like a lot of his stuff. Yep. The plague of corrupted blood killed countless trolls, blah 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 blah. And this entire boss, this like brand new boss, he's level 120, so he's like this, well, 2018, but like this year, he's based around that because that's how significant it was in the game's history. So yeah, that is a rather significant event in Warcraft history and in video game history. To this day, MMOs in particular, like World of Warcraft or EverQuest or RuneScape, are studied by the CDC, by economists. They study the game's economy because the auction house in World of Warcraft and RuneScape and EverQuest and all those is actually extremely reliable in terms of studying for actual economic data. So I know Blizzard works with, I think it's the University of California, Berkeley or something like that. It's one of the UCs. In their economics department, they actually get data from the auction houses, which is really funny. I need like at least one more, but I'd like two more. Or wait, hold on, how many do I have? Yeah, I need two more to feel comfortable about the amount of footage I have. I actually did a report on something similar to that in my freshman year of college, because we got to choose any topic we wanted to. We just had to write like an academic style paper. So I chose the topic of video games are useful for education. And those were like the two big things that I brought up, because those were like the two things that actually had scientific articles based around them. I guess I'll do. What I can do is just take one. And what I can do is just do one, but do 3 dots.